On Monday, on the front page of the Columbus Dispatch, they reported that the out-of-state frack waste being trucked into Ohio from Pennsylvania shows radioactivity levels over 3,000 times higher than federal safety limits. So where do these numbers come from? Do they come from Ohio state regulators doing their jobs to protect Ohio citizens? No. These numbers come from the U.S. Geological Survey, from samples taken and tested in Pennsylvania before the waste was trucked across state lines and dumped in Ohio. But what do Ohio state regulators have to say about this? What do they say in response? Well, Ohio's own radiation protection chief says that there is no reason for alarm. He still insists that there is no need to test brine in Ohio. In fact, he calls Class 2 injection wells the perfect solution for frack waste dumping. Ohio state regulators are asleep on the job, and they must wake up. These wells are not safe. Class 2 injection wells are not rated for hazardous waste, and this is hazardous waste. Wells have an abysmal failure rating, and there is no meaningful oversight right now to ensure that these wells are operating safely. Government is meant to act in the interest of its citizens. When government ignores its citizens, principled and conscientious people must act. Citizens do not act out of recklessness, sensationalism, or in an attempt to grandstand. Citizens act because this is a public health emergency. The dumping of toxic radioactive waste here threatens the entire population of Appalachian, Ohio. Citizens must act. They must. This is no less than a matter of life and death. Thank you.
Questions for Ms. Fitch?
This is the first time you've been in a court and with this kind of charges. Is that eye-opening, or it's not frightening, but is it eye-opening? What is it? What's your feeling?
I'm disappointed that the state seems to be more interested in protecting the oil and gas industry than in protecting its own citizens.
After today, do you yet have a firm understanding of what you can and cannot do in terms of public appearances and speaking and so forth?
The prosecution has asked that I not be allowed to protest fracking in Athens County for the duration of the trial. I think it's very broadly stated. In fact, I think it's stated in such a way that if they wanted to, they could decide after this that I was protesting, that this counts as a protest. They're defining it very broadly, and it clearly infringes on First Amendment rights.
Our client is not guilty of any felony. The only thing she's induced in Athens County is sanity. She's absolutely rational in what she's done. She's done a great public service in a long tradition in America of nonviolent civil disobedience. And what it comes to is whether or not she was reckless. Who was reckless were the people who allowed radioactive material and toxic material to be shipped in from Pennsylvania, where it's not allowed, and injected into the water tables of the people of Ohio. Madeline has induced a rational, sane debate. That's the only thing she's induced, and we intend to continue this discussion in this society from the bottom up until our water is safe. And if anything, I think she stands in the long tradition of Eugene Victor Debs, of Martin Luther King, of Emma Goldman, and all those people that stood up for the rights of citizens. And that's my comment.